Be very careful when you tramp because there are a bunch of showies in seed. But up here where I am, on the right hand side is one down very low to the ground in full flower, down the little hollow where I am right here. And on the other side of the path, more obvious, are a couple in bloom. One's kind of past, but one's in pretty good shape still.
Or twin flower, Linaria.
Yeah, they're borealis, that's right. Yeah.
What is it?
Twin flower. Little pink flower pointing downwards, right here, and the person ahead will point back to you. That was a paired flower until one fell off and is lying at the base. It's called twin flower. And for those like Mary Marsh and Brian Carson, who are botanists, the scientific names of plants are the best to use worldwide because they're universal, while the common names change from country to country. But this one bears the name Linnaeus borealis, or borealis I think, or boreali, and it's named after Carl von Linné, the Swedish botanist who introduced the classification system with double-parted scientific names based mostly in Latin. And so this plant he named after, put his own name on it. It was his favorite flower apparently in the world, was twin flower. Fens are these marvelous floating habitats where they're sphagnum based, but there's sedges and there's bog rosemary and the orchids growing amongst it. And so when you walk on a fen, it's like walking on a waterbed, I guess, of life. The White Lake Fen is really a rare habitat anywhere in North America. It houses a number of rare species of plants and insects. For example, the smallest dragonfly in North America resides there, the elfin skimmer. And a very unusual caterpillar that turns into a day-flying silk moth in the autumn. It's called the bog bean moth, buck moth. Its Latin name is Hemiluca lucina, and it's only found in 2 spots in Canada, and that's it, including the White Lake Fen, and only a handful of places in New England. Key thing is to come out here is a very special privilege, and I do want to leave a permanent fingerprint on the land. Every time you walk, it takes probably a whole summer for the spot to recover, and that's why I want to keep the walking to one trail, and I'm walking where deer have already walked for the most part. Okay, if we can come forward a bit to the last part, because there's 3 orchids here I want to show you. One here, the taller one, is grass pink or calopogon. It is unique in all of our native orchids in Ontario because other orchids, like our lady slippers, have the biggest petal. Orchids only have 3 petals, by the way, and one's usually modified as a landing platform for insects. It's called the labellum. It's downwards on the plant. The other 2 petals are above it. But in grass pink or calopogon, during the development of the bud, they twist around, and so the lowermost petal becomes the uppermost petal. Here's one of the prettiest sights I've ever seen here, by the way. Where I'm standing right now is a little patch of pitcher plant leaves with rose begonias growing amongst them. I've been coming here for years, and I have not seen as prettier a picture of the 2 species than this one. I first started coming here back about 40 years ago. These cattails were not here then, and so it's more of an open peatland mat back then. But as time goes on, the mat gets thicker, supports more cedars, more tamarack. Eventually this will transform into the kind of forest we came through a few minutes ago. And so gradually the forest is encroaching on the fen, and given enough time, maybe another 1,000 years or so, we'll have a solid forest here. So times they are changing. Oh, but I got the dragonfly. I see the smallest dragonfly in North America. I got the dragonfly. I've only seen 2 dragonflies here so far. One was called the Halloween pennant, and it flew away. But this one is very different. In my fingers is the smallest dragonfly in North America, and I think the 2nd smallest in the world. That's a full-size dragonfly, not a damselfly, the thin relatives that are small, but a dragonfly. It's called the elfin skimmer, Nanothemis bella, for those that like the scientific names. And the females and males are different. This one is a freshly emerged male, because males that are out for a few days develop this whitish bloom to their body. It's called pruinosity. This one hasn't got that. The females are yellow and black like bees, And instead of flying high in the air like most dragonflies do, these little fellows fly down within a meter of the floating mat, through the sedges. And so as you walk around, you might just see one drifting around like a little tiny bee. This is a sphagnum sprite, a very tiny damselfly. That's usually pretty rarely encountered. It does like peatland habitats, but normally ones where there's a bit more open water by the edges. But it is a rather uncommonly found species and one of the highlights of the White Lake Fen, in my opinion.